Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out my broadcast today. My name is Jonathan. Today is day 311 of my 3-year challenge to lose 300 pounds. If this is your first time checking out my channel, a little bit about that challenge. It's kind of, like I said, it's my challenge to lose 300 pounds. I've been overweight my whole life, and I've tried a lot of different things to lose weight, and I've had success here and there with different things, but I've never been able to keep it going or to sustain any weight loss. And I ended up getting up to 520 pounds last year, and I knew I needed to do something. And so that's why I started this whole thing. Like I said, I had a lot of weight to lose, and I knew I needed to do something long term, because everything I've done in the past, it was kind of fad diets or something that you can do for a month or two, but not something that you can sustain yourself on. And that's what my goal was when I started this. I didn't know when I started this that I was going to be eating a whole food plant-based diet, but so far I've had great success with my diet. And it's been, I don't know. I'm just off. My whole intro's off. Everything's off today, I guess. I started a little bit late here, a couple minutes late, not much late, but it's just been a crazy couple weeks. I'm kind of finally to the point where I'm in a little bit of a limbo period. I have some work yet to do, but I have to wait till some other people do some things. So I just got that kind of to that point today, I guess, or just a couple hours ago. So it's been a hectic weekend for me. I worked through the weekend as opposed to getting much of a break, which was not the best or the most fun, but it was nice to buckle down and get the work I needed to get done. If anybody has any non-scale victories, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories or any questions or anything, let me know. And I will answer your questions the best I can. I hope everybody had a good weekend with the holiday. It's been since Friday, since I've been on. It's Tuesday now. Anthony's saying, hey, Anthony, I hope you had a good weekend. Like I kind of was just saying, we didn't really do much for this weekend. I mean, outside, I worked all weekend. Carrie ended up being at home with the kids the whole weekend. And so it wasn't a very productive. I always look forward to these chats. Good. I look forward to them as well, although I don't know what I'm going to say most of the time when I turn the microphone on. I do enjoy coming on and rambling for a little bit about what's going on and how things are going, and keeps me accountable is a big thing. It keeps me, people talk about diets and having, the biggest thing that comes to mind right now is having cheat days and being like, oh, I can go back to the way I was eating for a day because I've been eating this way for so long. And doing these streams and having this kind of accountability has made it really easy for me to not even really be tempted to have a cheat day. I don't know. I mean, if I wasn't doing this, maybe I wouldn't be tempted to have a cheat day anyways, but I just don't have, And I guess the definition of cheat day is changing for me as well, because a cheat day before was, the way I normally ate was eating fast food for breakfast, lunch, having a large dinner, and probably some potato chips and a bunch of snacks at home. That would be, now a cheat day is going to be having maybe a couple Lara bars or having extra, of something that to me a year ago would have been diet food, or wouldn't have been, it would have been something that it wouldn't have been considered a cheat meal. Anyways, so that's been a big part of why I like doing these streams, is that accountability has really helped me to want to continue on and, stay focused and not deter me or cause me, because this period where I'm at right now is really the point that's starting to scare me the most, because it's further than I've ever taken any diet or lifestyle or any, change. I've switched for, a couple days or a week or month, or, 9 months is kind of the longest I've held a diet or held, sustained weight loss. And so I'm right at that, just past that point. And so I'm very nervous about relapsing, I guess, or having issues. I don't have any temptations, but I don't have any urges, but I'm worried that they're going to show up, because it's uncharted territory for me as far as sticking to anything. Homeless Millionaire says, you're killing off a different version of yourself. Proud of you, man. Thanks. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's scary, because I've done this before-ish, or I haven't lost this much weight, but I was lighter 10 years ago when I lost weight than I am now. Anyways, and I thought I had it all figured out, and I was, it was all, and I had some of the answers. I had the mentality 10 years ago, or I had the mental, aspect of it, but I was kind of lying to myself too, because I was taking phentermine to help me suppress my appetite. So it wasn't it wasn't just me working to keep the calories down. But yeah. So when I lost that weight 10 years ago, I thought I had it figured out. I thought I was, and it quickly fell apart once I quit taking the drugs that were helping me with my appetite. Note from experience: stress doesn't help weight loss. No, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't help with health. It's a weird thing that it makes me think about, because I think that different people react to stress different ways. I think that for a lot of people, stress is something where they eat. In fact, there was a time that I was at an event that is like a week-long thing, and one of the guys that was running part of the event had some health issues, because he had gone too long without eating. Like, he had gone most of the week and he didn't eat enough, and the stress kept him from eating. And so it surprised me when somebody told me that, oh, he was stressed, he didn't eat enough, because to me, eating was always the answer to helping with stress. And for him not to be eating, it was surprising to me. So I think Carrie says I'm a stress eater. I think a lot of us are stress eaters. And so it was surprising to me for somebody to not be, to not eat when they're stressed out. So I guess it's not good just for overall health. It causes people to do or act outside of their normal behavior, I suppose, in an attempt to try to change the current state they're in to try to relieve the stress. I don't know. Plans to do another water fast. not right now, but it's not out of the question. There's always the option that I could do a water fast starting November 1st again. Just kind of being like a 1 year kind of from the time I did the first did that water fast for 42 days. But it really depends on how my weight loss goes over this next month and a half, I guess. It's been kind of a pain not to be active with my arm, keeping me from doing anything. So that's kind of it. I've been stalled with my weight loss. So doing a water fast would be a nice way to kind of jumpstart it or get the weight loss going again. But I want to see how this month plays out and maybe part of next month before I make that call about doing a water fast. The water fast in general, what I've really found from that second water fast I did was that it was much easier to water fast when I wasn't very active. So if this November I can find a way to not be super active, or, because that's when I was 520 pounds, my whole life was really not active in comparison to my life now. And when I tried doing the second water fast, I found that I was doing too much. I didn't want to rein it in. I didn't want to, do less, and I don't want to do less again. But I'm really happy with the water fast and what it's, started for me here. But we'll see if mid-October, I guess I'll make that call about whether or not to do it at the beginning of November again. So let's see, more visceral fat is burned when water fasting and not moving versus being active during. Okay, you get rid of more visceral fat. Yeah, I'm not sure. I just know that the second time I water fasted, says it's glitchy for you. I'm not getting any alerts here, but that's not. It doesn't mean it's not possible. And the audio might help now. I just realized that I had my son in here yesterday and we moved the fan, so it was blowing a different direction than it was before. So let's see. Here says she's not having any glitches on her end. Today, I guess, a non-scale victory is what I would call it, but it wasn't. Check out Alan Goldhammer YouTube channel. It is wild, informative, and stream is good on my end. Okay. Alan Goldhammer, Dr. Lyle, that's 100% where I've gotten kind of what I've been doing. I didn't know who Alan Goldhammer was prior to probably November 15th of last year. When I started this water fast, I had no idea what the True North Clinic was or what any of those, what their philosophies were. And so I'm a big fan of them. I've actually listened to the book, The Pleasure Trap, twice now in the past year. Big fan of all those guys. So Anthony says, YouTube must not like me. Homeless Millionaire says, everyone watching, give the stream a thumbs up. Yes, give a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Turn on the little bell icon so you get notified when I go live. All that stuff. I love it. But my non-scale victory, it's all part of what I said is I get a bunch of paperwork together and then I go hand that paperwork off to somebody. The file that I have is too big for me to send electronically, so I have to take a pin drive to them so that they can get the backup file so they can check my work or whatever. Where I go, I usually see this place once a year, and I'm trying to figure out, I feel like I've talked about this on stream a while ago, but where they're located, where I have to do the drop off the paperwork and everything, is not an area of town that I go to very often. I go there about once a year, maybe as many as 3 times a year, but not much more than that. But it's always been a ritual for me that when I go drop this off, I go to Taco John's because it's like right across the street from there, and there's no other Taco John's in our area. And it was something I've done for 15 years since I've been doing this job. I drop that paperwork off, I go grab Taco John's, and I thought about that today. Like, I was going over there, and I was thinking about how, I usually drop this off and then I go to Taco John's, and how, I don't have any urge to go there. There's nothing tempting there, but it made me think about, I know exactly what I would have ordered. I know the exact menu. I know the order I would have ordered it, because as dumb as it was at one point, and it probably isn't that way anymore because prices changed, but Taco John's had a thing where if I had ordered one meal as a value meal, like one of the tacos I got as a value meal versus the other as a value meal, it would save me like 30 cents, which is woohoo. So I would go there and get the same meal, probably $15 worth of stuff. It was a value meal, a burrito, and then you got to get their nacho cheese sauce, all that stuff. And so Carrie kind of stepped on my punchline here, but yes. So I decided right across the street, there's a grocery store that 10 months ago, I never would have walked in. I never would have walked into it. It's called Fresh Time. And I think it might be a national or regional place, but it's a large produce section inside the middle of the store. And then there's other things. And I thought, I should start a new tradition. And instead of going over to Taco John's, I go to Fresh Time. And so I went to Fresh Time. It probably didn't take me that much longer to go into that store than the drive-through takes. In fact, I've gone through a couple drive-throughs for my kids for some things in the last few weeks, and the drive-throughs have been taking forever. I don't know if I'm ordering odd things or what, but anyways, so yeah, I went to this grocery store. I ended up buying, I don't even know. This had a lot more nuts in it than before. So I ate a large quantity of cashews that I already ate because I was hungry. And then, I don't know if they're kind of expensive, but I bought, there we go, some oranges, cuties or mandarin oranges. So I grabbed a bag of those, and they're great. I've talked about it in the past. In fact, having oranges, I love these oranges, and we hadn't had oranges for a while. I think because we were out of the house, and we just there's a season with oranges, or I don't know if there's seasons, like multiple seasons, but sometimes we buy these oranges and they're amazing, and then 2 weeks later we buy them and they're not amazing. So there is a shelf life with them, or there's a season that we're still trying to figure out with oranges. But I think I could sit down and eat a whole 4-pound bag of oranges in one sitting if I wanted, because when they're good, when they're bad, it's not the best. But let's see, go crazy on cashews and yeah, that's exactly, I didn't even read that. Yes, that's what I did. Yeah, Carrie says they were terrible all summer and they're starting to be good again. So yeah, there must be some season with them because I felt like they were good. Like 6 months ago, they were really good. Um, and we feel so much better with fresh fruit afterwards. Yeah, it's. I didn't. I overate those cashews. I know I overate those cashews, but me eating even that whole thing of cashews, like that is probably the equivalent in volume to like one of those 2 or 3 burritos that I would have eaten from Taco John's. And I don't know what half the stuff that was in that Taco John's meal would have been, but at least I know what these cashews are. And, um, my body's going to process out of those cashews what it wants, and it'll take what it needs. But, I feel, yeah, I feel much better than if I would have had a Taco John's meal too. It's, and I saved money, I mean, this was only a few dollars, and really had I probably could have eaten those cashews over the course of 2 days versus the day. The oranges, I'm going to have those for a day or two as well. So, yeah. So it was a lot cheaper than what I would have normally spent. And chances are they would have screwed something up or half the meal would have been messed up. I talk about every now and then you get a bad orange. Like every now and then when I would go to fast food, I would get like a bad order of fries, and that's like $2 that you're spending, that you're wasting on food that's subpar that you still eat because that's how it was. You're not going to go back and say, hey, I want a new thing of fries. With a lot of the food we're eating, at least we're checking it at the produce stand and we're saying, hey, this apple looks good or doesn't look good. We don't get that choice when we're buying fast food. It's however they give it to us. And a lot of times you're down the road before you notice it. When we crave healthy food, we are winning the fight. You're right on path, bro. Yeah, thanks. New celebration meals. Yeah, I mean, and that's a bit like I was saying, is that like my cheat days are different, or they're not. It's not cheat days, or for me to have a cheat meal, it would be that I bought a box of Lara bars on the way home from work yesterday, and I had 2 Lara bars. Like that's a cheat meal, having cashews and dates. I mean, I'm not going to feel too bad about it. Like when I start to feel bad about it, if I go a month from now and I'm still at the same weight, I know that it's the cashews, it's the peanut butter that I eat. It's, like there's lots of things I can change in my diet that are going to be less fat and more nutrients. I mean, it's there's a lot of improvement that my diet could even have from where it's at right now, really. Carrie says she did take her kids to the pizza place to celebrate school today. So we still have a little ways to go with that. Yeah, the kids, it's tough. You just had a water. It's so tough with the kids because you just want them to be happy and you just want to get them what's going to make them happy. And, sometimes is going to shut them up, it's when we make, and by we, I mean, Carrie most of the time makes diet, vegan, plant-based food for our kids. It's like playing Russian roulette with whether or not they're going to like it. And then we have 4 kids on top of that. So all 4 of them have to like a meal for it to really become a staple for us. And a lot of times going and grabbing fast food just is a quick solution. We had all our kids in the car driving. What were we doing? We went to the store. We went with to the park. We went to the park this weekend, and we were in a time position where we had left right after lunch or a little after lunch, such that it was going to be dinner time or kind of after when we normally eat dinner, when we were going to be coming home from the park. And on the way out, we discussed maybe stopping somewhere and getting some food for the kids. But we've tried to go to places that I thought had healthy options for the kids, and they do have healthy options for the kids. But if I spend $6 on a meal and they don't eat it, then that's money wasted. And there's not a lot of places that it's hard to find places that don't have things that your kids are going to like. And so it's tough to have, food that they would eat and not buy that for them at a store, and buy food you don't know if they're going to eat. And so, yeah, we went back and forth about trying to do something, and we almost went out to eat. And then in the end, we decided to just go home and make something, and we made it work at home. But it is tough with the kids getting them to switch. And this came undone. It did. Hold on a second. My brace came undone. Let's see. Anthony said, on your first diet, you plateaued at 320 for months. Yeah. And I hope it's not for months, but if I plateau at a weight for a little while, I can't be too discouraged. Right now I'm still dealing with this arm. I can't do anything. I'm going to the doctor this Friday to find out if I can do a little bit more things, and I could probably push myself with like walking or doing that type of stuff. But I just want to get cleared by the doctor so I can kind of be comfortable with things. But yeah, if I end up plateauing for a minute, I'm not going to be mad. I mean, if I plateaued at 320, that means I still lost, even if I plateaued at this weight for 3 months, that means I lost 200 pounds in a year, which a year ago, I would have, 200 would have been a high end. If you just said, how much do you think you could lose in a year? I probably would have said, I could probably get 150 to 200 off. And I'm already there. Carrie says, you still feel like we were providing them a knowledge base and familiarity with plant-based eating that will certainly come in handy as they get older. Yeah. And Alex says, just stop ripping muscles off your arms. Yeah, that was rough. Or it's been rough, and I like last night, I just wanted to go to sleep without this brace on my arm. Like that, I almost took it off. Like I started to unclip it, and because I can straighten my arm and I can do things, but it was like a big deal. Like I never really, it's so tough because I didn't have a chance to deal with my arm. I haven't still had a chance to like deal with my arm. Like I was getting ready for that camping trip that I was leaving for the next, give me a second here. I was getting ready for a camping trip that I was leaving for, and I hurt my arm, and I still had to keep doing what I was doing. I couldn't wait I didn't have time to, wait it out or see how things were. And so I just kind of lived with it for that 10 days, and then came back and had surgery right after that trip, and have been busy like doing as much paperwork as I can while, when I have been able to do it. And so, yeah, the, just stop ripping muscles off my arms. And, yeah. But anyways, I guess what I was getting at is I just never really had time to like think about how big of a deal it really is. Like, yeah. Because I had to just deal with it for 10 days. There was only one or two times I got myself in a position where I went to pick something up or did something I shouldn't have been doing. But anyways, but yeah, it was a good weekend. Nothing real big on our end happening. Just trying to keep kids alive and survive through the weekend. I think we did okay on most of those things. And yeah, I'll be back on tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be back on tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to wait. I think I'm not. I think I'm going to wait until the 11 month. I'm just going to, like I said, I haven't had any clearance from the doctor to do any working out. So I'm not going to stress about the scale until I can start doing stuff again. But I really want to thank all you guys for checking out the broadcast today, with the questions and everything. If you haven't already, make sure that you do subscribe to the channel. Click on the bell icon, turn on notifications. Like Homeless Millionaire said, make sure you thumbs up this video too as well. And, all the interactions I can get, I appreciate. I will be back on tomorrow. You guys have a great evening. If you haven't started a diet yet, get started now. There's no reason to wait. There's no event to wait for. And if your event did happen, if it was this weekend, it's over. Get started. Like if that was your thing you were waiting for, then it's past and now it's time to get started. And Anthony says, have a good evening. You have a good evening too, Anthony. The other thing that I've really kind of been noticing is, I think, yeah. What was I? I don't know. Crazy day. Anyways, we have a wedding this weekend. We do have a wedding this weekend. That would normally be something that would be a bit of a worry. I'm not worried about it. I feel bad for the wedding couple because they'll probably still serve me a meal that I won't eat, but I'll let my kids eat it, or there'll be somebody around me that I'm sure will eat it. Anyways, if you haven't started a diet, get started on your diet, and make sure you tell somebody. Give yourself some accountability. And you guys all have a good evening. We will see you tomorrow.